things you have got to quit doing that will help you be a better prepper and homesteader. That's kind of funny to say. You got to stop doing something to do something better. Well, it's true, and we're going to talk about it today. Common sense approach to just living life and making sure you are taking care of your family and preparing like you're supposed to. It's going to be a good video today, guys, and you can see it's a little early because the rain is coming in, but it's going to be a good video, and it starts right now. We have a huge storm blowing in, so we're filming early, so hopefully it's not too dark on camera. It's amazing that we have 12 degrees, and then we have 20 degrees, then we have 80 degrees, and now we're having a torrential storm with tornado capabilities to come back in to bring it back down to freezing temperatures next week. Welcome to South Mississippi. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Max. Here our goal is to teach common sense approach and the way we used to do things when it comes to homesteading and prepping, making sure we are taking care of our family and building wisdom. So thank you for being here. Remember to go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Remember, guys, we're doing a monster giveaway. Thousands of dollars worth of awesome merch, awesome preps, awesome homestead ideas, things that you get for free. All you have to do is subscribe, ring the bell, that way you know what's coming up. As we get close to the 200,000 subscriber giveaway, we will do a live, we will announce winners. It's gonna be awesome. Share this video with other people so they can be subscribed, and it doesn't cost anything to sign up, it just costs you to click a button. Now let's jump into the video. We talk about prepping, stockpiling, and buying, and the most comment that I receive is, well, we're on fixed income, or we can't, we're on a tight budget, we can't, we have no extra money, we can't. Now let's talk about why you can, and we're gonna fix a little of those things. Now, not everybody is a bad spender. Not everybody blows their money. We understand that. But I do believe we can talk about a few things on this video that could help you possibly tighten up your budget, turn the screws a little bit, and find ways to save money and stockpile cash, and to find ways to buy things that can help you if it comes to homesteading, prepping, farming, or sustainability. So let's jump into the list right now. Number one is quit spending money. Quit thinking that you have endless dispensary of money. You are not the government. That was a joke, by the way. But you cannot just keep spending money. We have to get on a budget. So if we have money coming in, we don't write it down and know where it's going. When it's gone, we're wondering, where did it go? How many times have you said that? How many times have you said to your spouse or to your children, said, I just don't know how we spend so much money? I've heard that and heard that and heard that. So let's tighten up a budget. Let's write down a budget and make sure we're making common sense of that budget. If you know you have a family of 4, you can't eat on $50 a month. We understand that, unless you're growing a lot of food like us. At the same time, if you are a family of 2, you don't need a budget to eat out for $500 a month. Now that brings me up to some other points and we're going to jump into, but make sure you are building a budget and you quit spending your hard-earned money. You do not have an endless supply. Number 2, I mentioned it, eating out, but really more than that, it's called frivolous spending. Frivolous spending. If you're a restaurateur or you're a chef or you own a food industry, it is not any ploy against you. But what I am saying is you have got to quit eating out and eating this junk fast food and eating convenience food all the time. Now, if you want to treat your spouse or you want to celebrate a great thing like a birthday coming up, actually we'll celebrate a birthday this week with Selah, one of our daughters, and we will go out because she loves Mexican, and we're going to go celebrate her, and she's going to put her sombrero on and we're going to eat some Mexican. But that is not something we practice all the time. So what I mean by that is this: you cannot tell me it's cheaper for you to eat out. I know I hear that. I hear people all the time make excuses that it is way cheaper to eat out, it is way cheaper to buy lunch in town, it is way cheaper to do that than just make your own. That is a bunch of bull malarkey. You cannot just overspend on frivolous things such as food. Food costs a lot already. That's if you're buying it and you're preparing it. Now you're buying convenience. So they're buying it, they're charging you for the food, and then they're charging you to cook it, and then all of a sudden you're partaking of it and really not knowing what quality food it is. So you may be getting more subpar food such as fast food because it's not quality. and then you're spending money that you really don't have. So on the budget, write you a little list of saying, okay, eating out for special occasions. When you blow that budget, it's over, buddy. You're eating ham sandwiches or you're eating leftovers. I made a video on this not too long ago. Leftovers is very good to learn to eat because it helps you not waste and helps you save money. So frivolous spending number 2, don't eat out, especially if you don't have the money. Especially if you're wondering where your money goes. It goes to Subway or McDonald's or XYZ restaurant. Don't do it. Another major reason people cannot prep or homestead is because their budget is too tight. They're having to overwork because they're having to work to pay their bills. Now, do you need a new automobile? Do you have a monthly note on your automobile? Right now, you've got to quit all that. For one thing, interest has gone up. The amount of vehicle cost has gone up. So you're not getting a quote-unquote good deal. You're not getting a steal of a deal on this car. You're overpaying for this car. So if you have a vehicle note right now, I bet you it's taking up $300 to $800 of your monthly budget. That is in a depreciating item. So kind of like the frivolous spending we were talking about with eating out, you're literally consuming food to turn around and put it in a toilet, you know, a day or two later. It's the same way with the automobile. We're buying this $50, $60, $70, $80,000 automobile in the name of I've got to have it, to then turn around and sell it 4 or 5 years later when it's worn out. You still owe $20,000, $30,000 on it, and it's worthless, and you're just trying to sell it for what you have in it. That's what we hear all the time. So you've wasted, you know, $40,000 or $50,000 over 3 or 4 years in the name of I had to have the vehicle. For instance, you're sitting in a truck that is what we call our farm truck, our work truck. This is an 08 Dodge. It's got over 200,000 miles on it, and we bit and pieced this thing together. Now people will say, well, why don't you just buy a new one? It costs too much to fix that thing all the time. Well, I've invested maybe 2022, I probably put $3,000 in it. Now I don't want to put $3,000 in it. The turbo went out in it. But if you think about it, if I would have bought this truck, if I would have went back in January of 2022 and bought a truck, and said, okay, I need it for the farm, I need it for the animals, I need it because this one's tearing up, I would have spent maybe $60,000 or $70,000. So that would have been a heavier note over that year, and it will continue. When I fix the truck, it's fixed, and until it does something wrong again, it's here. Well, it's the same way. We have 2 other vehicles that we keep that are literally older vehicles that have high mileages, but ultimately I don't do anything on them. And they're not costing me a lot on taxes. The tags are cheap because they're old vehicles. The purpose is you don't have to have that new vehicle. You don't have to do that. So that would help your budget tremendously just to get rid of it. Now don't go upside down and try to get rid of it now. You may have to get more aggressive in paying off the debt. I don't know. But one of the biggest problems and hiccups when people say they can't prep or they can't homestead or they can't stockpile food or they can't do this or that or this or that or they can't learn new skills is because they're having to work so hard to pay for a vehicle that they couldn't afford in the first place. So make sure you're not overcompensated in a vehicle thinking inconvenience or thinking you deserve it. Next, you got to cut up the credit cards, guys. You can't live off credit cards. Don't do it for your airline miles. Don't do it for your spending at the year end, because what we tend to do when we use digitized money, which that is a big push now, when we use that or when we can click it on Amazon and we can't control our spending sometimes, we tend to spend more than if we're just giving dollars for it. So I know that convenience is good. I'm not saying that. I'm talking to you on a camera in front of a pond with wireless internet to where I can go and upload a video. I understand convenience is nice, but sometimes those clicks to Amazon or sometimes those credit card swipes are costing you really more than what you really need to be spending because it's so easy to do. When we need some, oh, just swipe it. You know, the big slogan for Christmas this year across merchandising and across credit card providers was buy now, pay later. Now we've heard that, but think about that. Buy now, pay later. You're paying your minimums on your credit cards, or you're paying just enough to get by, then you're paying maybe 10, 15, 20%, 25%, 30% interest on that money. So that 1.5% discount or rebate you'd get at the year end, or the airline miles that you get in the year end, you may have doubled or tripled that price by the interest you've paid through the year. Now, if you're smart and you're very conscientious of your spending, I'm not making an excuse, but I'm saying if you can do things like the credit card rebates, have at it. But for the majority of people, They don't know how to control their spending. That's the whole purpose of not having money and wondering where their money goes. When we swipe the credit card, it doesn't go as far as we think it goes, and it makes it think that we have endless amounts of money again. So I challenge you, cut the credit cards up, use debit cards when you need, but ultimately try to go back to, I've got tangible money I need to give to someone, because that will help you spend less. Because then when you see those dollars leave, or when you see that bank account go down as you're spending with the debit card, it tends to change your spending habits. I do a lot of videos on buy this now, buy this now, buy this now. And if you are a prepper or you're doing things, that is something you need to do over time. 10, 15 years we've been buying stuff for buy this now. The purpose of that is to tell you to work towards something. For instance, let's talk prepping and homesteading. We have been building up our farm and our homestead and our preps for literally a decade. Here. Now, we've only lived on this property for about 7 to 8 years. It's actually, Selah was a baby when we moved in, and her birthday is this week, as we talked about. But we have to realize that it takes time to do this. When you're building your budget, you're gonna have some flub ups. It's gonna take time to get there. It's gonna take time to buy things over a season. If you need a new vehicle, I mean, there's times work permits where you have to have a vehicle, or you have to be able to travel. I understand that. But be conscientious and try to save more to then turn around and not have to spend so much. You know, not buy the brand new one. Maybe buy one that's used, that's got some miles on it. We have to be conscientious, and we have to be patient. Try to save up a little bit before you have to buy. For instance, we're always looking for little pieces of land. We really are. We're looking to expand, you know, parts of growing. But right now, it's not the time to buy. Now, does that mean I'm not looking? No, I'm looking. But it's going to take someone being in a despair to sell for what I want to pay for it. So therefore, I have to be patient. So that's the real point of the last thing I want to talk about. Is one thing we have forgotten how to do in America is to be patient. When we talk about stockpiling and prepping, when we tell you to buy things, or when we tell you to go get stuff, it may be a simple box of macaroni. It may be a simple box of noodles. It may be a simple can of goods. That extra dollar or extra 30 cents, you are on the road to making wise decisions. It doesn't mean you have to go and spend $1,000 at Costco. I'm not saying that. Same way with vehicles. You may have to still go and get a note for a vehicle. I'm not saying you don't have to, but instead of an $80,000 new truck or $70,000 new truck, it may be a used $15,000 truck. So you see, you're making positive moves in wiser decisions. It may be eating out twice a month versus eating out 6 or 7 times a month. It may be taking a sack lunch for lunch every day instead of going to town and buying a burger every day. All those wise decisions helps us save money. Then we start saving money, we see it on our budget. Then we get excited, and then all of a sudden, then it gives us more freedom to do things with our money. The one thing that scares me the most in America is the reason we're so panicky and scared all the time is because, to be honest with you, we're not dependent on ourselves, and we're not sustainable enough to take care of our family. We haven't learned skills. We haven't learned things to do if all of a sudden someone gets sick, to naturally and holistically fix that. So we panic because we may have bad finances. We may be depending on government money, and so everybody's wanting stimulus now. Well, it's because they want stimulus now because they have no money. So I'm challenging you. If you want to prep better, you want to homestead, you want to learn how to do these things, it takes patience, and it takes telling your money where to go versus it being spent and you're wondering where it went. So be wise with your money, because when you're wise with your money, there'll be more there to buy the things that you need to stockpile to take care of your family. Wisdom building, common sense approaches to life. That is all we want to try to do, is encourage you to be that guy. To say no to some of the crazy spending. Don't buy now, pay later. Pay now, buy it when you need it. And I think we'll be okay. The craziness in this world is going to get worse probably for 2023. There's more, recession talks. There's more facts of your money not going as far as it used to. Inflation going crazy. Don't let all that scare you. Even when that worries you, always rely back on God and know that through His guidance and the love of your family, you can come through the storm and you will be better on the other end. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about this video. Also, go down here, press subscribe so you can be signed up for the monster giveaway as we get close to 200,000 subscribers. Thank you, guys. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.